Hello class, welcome to the last lesson of the nutrition unit. I feel that the graphic in the middle explains it all. You need a solid nutrition plan to increase your performance, so you need to eat like a champion to be a champion. You've already learned many things about nutrition that are going to help you create an effective diet plan. For example, the importance of the essential nutrients, so what each of the nutrients do in your body and how they're helpful, each of those nutrients, how these nutrients supply energy. Remember, carbohydrates are a primary source, fats are a secondary source, how the energy is processed by the systems in your body depending on our sport or activity, how the body processes food, so we look at metabolism, your basal metabolic rate, and how that burns calories, your body composition, how that's a factor and how you perform and managing your weight. And then also the calories in, okay, the food we're bringing in, the calories that are coming in the body, and our ability to get rid of those calories through metabolism or BMR and our exercise and activity. But before we create a diet plan, let's look at some other factors that could impact our nutrition and therefore our performance. One is if we happen to be overtraining with our sport or activity, we could lose some appetite. So that might be a sign that we need to dial back what we're doing and maybe change our workouts. Another thing that's important is we have enough electrolytes for hydration. Electrolytes we can get from fruits and vegetables and sports drinks, and there are things like sodium, potassium, calcium, chloride, magnesium. And the important role in hydration that electrolytes play is they regulate that fluid balance, especially the pH in our blood, which is important for all those body processes. Our body runs on electricity, basically, so we need a balance in the body of those different ions and the water balance and the nutrients in those different areas. Another important consideration is dehydration and rehydration. Now, if we're not getting enough fluids in our body, or if we're drinking drinks like sodas, teas that dehydrate your body, we can lose that fluid and have some symptoms but not realize it until we feel thirsty. Once you feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated. It goes dehydration, thirst, and then it's important to make sure you rehydrate. Sometimes we can just do it through water, but other times we have to have those electrolytes to balance things out. But the key here is trying not to include too much caffeine and sugar products in your drinks because that can dehydrate you. Another consideration is the timing. When we eat, we have to make sure that after long sessions of exercise or sports practice that we replenish the glycogen in our body, which usually means make sure we have enough carbohydrates to break down and store it in our muscles and our liver in our body. And this can take some time. It's like hydration. We have to make sure that we're constantly getting enough fluids. Same thing with glycogen. We have to make sure that we're getting enough of carbohydrates and that energy stored in our body. The final thing that can impact how our body functions is thermoregulation. And thermoregulation means our body wants to keep homeostasis. So if you're training in extreme heat or extreme cold, it can affect your performance. And we have to make sure that our diet, that we get enough of the nutrients, we have fluid, electrolyte balance in our body, so our blood and our fluids can move around and help regulate our temperature, and that's going to impact our performance. So again, it's important that we have a balance of all those nutrients and fluids so our body can properly adapt to any changes in temperature or humidity. In summary, when we look at designing a diet plan for athletes, we know the things about calories and the nutrients and the quality of the foods and the energy they supply. But there are some other factors that we covered during this lesson. One is appetite. If we have a loss of appetite, we might want to examine whether we're overtraining and make some adjustments. Electrolytes, we want to make sure we have enough electrolytes, either through sports drinks or fruits or vegetables. That'll help with hydration. If we're experiencing some dehydration, you'll know that you'll have some feelings, you might have some headaches, some lack of ability to concentrate or focus, but also you'll feel thirst. Once you feel thirst, you're dehydrated. So it's important that you rehydrate with water and or electrolytes. You have to make sure after workouts that we get enough carbohydrates back in our body so we can replenish the glycogen stores in our muscles and liver. And we also have to make sure that, again, those fluids, we have enough fluids and electrolytes and proper nutrients so our body can regulate its temperature if we're in situations where it's a little colder, a little hotter. Our body needs to be able to adapt. So when you sit down and create your diet plan for your sport and activity, think about these factors: how you're training, where you're training, when you should have your fluids, and time your meals before and after workouts, because those are all important factors when you're creating your diet plan.